It is mailbag time here on NFL Daily. Before we get to your guys' questions, get subscribed to the channel. If you want to be part of our mailbags, you must subscribe and join us live. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Just hit that big red button. Daily NFL videos, including a lot of mailbags every single week. So go ahead and subscribe to Chat Sports. We'll kick things off with a super chat. Cody Douglas, what's your comparison for Tua's ceiling? Well, the ones coming out of college were if he absolutely maximizes his ability, maybe he's Drew Brees.
Yeah.
That's obviously a high ceiling.
And so I think at that point you're hoping for maybe like a top 10, top 5 quarterback.
Yeah.
And kind of like what Cody mentioned in a different super chat, if we can get that one up here in a second. I like Tua, but I think your best case for Tua is he ends up being a Deshaun Watson caliber quarterback. So if you can get Deshaun Watson, I think you should go do that.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you can get Watson, Tua's got potential. Watson's already hit that, and he's still ascending in many people's eyes. So I agree with that. I would go get Deshaun Watson if possible. Tua could reach that potential, but he may not. So getting Watson makes a lot of sense. Matthew Borgart is next up. What do you think the Bears need to do in the offseason?
Take it away, Harrison.
Go check out our Bears channel, youtube.com/BearsNow. It's quarterback. I mean, we all know that. I think offensive tackle is a major need as well. I would literally do everything I could to get Deshaun Watson, and if that doesn't work out, I'd go to plan B, and I would continue to go down that domino until you get a quarterback, because until you get a quarterback, nothing else really matters. The Bears are a great example of that and have been for a long time. Great defense. They've got a good running game, but
you nailed it.
You got to have a quarterback.
Absolutely nailed it.
It's just as simple as that. So until the quarterback is figured out, nothing else matters. I'm covering that on a daily basis. Go check that out, youtube.com/BearsNow. Dwayne Jackson next up as we roll through these super chats. With the Cowboys and Dak contract in limbo, Dallas saying the right things but doing the opposite, are they in danger of alienating Dak and losing any goodwill had with him?
I think that is a very real possibility. I think that there is a very possible chance that at some point we reach this situation where Dak's upset, the Cowboys are upset, and he just says, you know what, I don't need this. I can be loved by a different organization, I can get paid, and I can try and have success over there. If they do that route, I'm concerned about this Cowboys team. I think Dak does want to be a Cowboy, and I think that the Cowboys do want to pay Dak, but at some point somebody's got to give, or else it's going to be a disaster. And that is a danger this team is facing right now.
Next up is Just Larry on our NFL mailbag. Just Larry asks, how many quarterbacks get traded this offseason, and is Aaron Rodgers one of them?
That's a great question. I think at some point we'll do a video of breaking down which quarterbacks are most likely to get dealt, because there's a lot of trade rumors out there about about different quarterbacks. If I have to guess, I don't think Rodgers is one of them. I think he sticks around. But I think you could see maybe it's 4 or 5 starting caliber quarterbacks, and then potentially side effects there getting dealt as well. So that's a very good question.
We'll go to Zach Taylor next. Another super chat. Appreciate it, my man. Why are experts picking AFC teams trading for AFC quarterbacks and NFC teams trading for NFC quarterbacks? The teams are not going to do that.
I think where it makes a little bit more sense is if teams are trying to just maximize their return on the investment. I think if you take away half the NFL teams, you're cutting into your own potential return. Now, if you don't want to trade in division, I get that. But in the end, if you're like Deshaun Watson and you're the Texans and the Jets or Dolphins are offering significantly more for him than like the Niners are, I don't think that's a good route to go. I think at that point, take the offer from the Jets or the Dolphins. That way you fully maximize your potential return on investment. I think for a lot of people, that was the Patriots. It's going to become the Chiefs soon. Where people just hate them because it's just tiring.
I feel like the Patriots at the time were dislikable because Bill Belichick was kind of a jerk. Brady could be kind of a jackass.
Give it time.
You think the Chiefs will reach that level?
Give it time.
Chiefs are cocky.
If they keep winning the way that they have, it'll get there.
Oh, man. We'll see. Shout out your least favorite team in the comments. All right, we'll get a few more questions with Tom back now. Who do you guys think will be the surprise team of 2021?
That's a good question. If you mean in a positive sense, what team is ready to take that leap forward? I want it to be Arizona. The kind of like the Browns last year, we anointed them a year too early.
I don't know if they're in that surprise category at this point, though, because the expectations are there now.
Okay, then
you took a step forward. It doesn't have to be a bad team, but a team that, just wasn't quite there last year. I think Arizona was almost disappointing.
It was kind of the Browns of the previous year.
Yeah.
Like, we anointed them too soon, and then they take a big step forward.
In that sense, maybe Arizona.
Maybe Dolphins? They take a Bills-type leap?
I mean, 10 wins already. I don't know if it would be a surprise if they won 2 more games. I guess maybe it would be. It's a good question. Super chat. Pitt cuts Hilton and Hayden to clear up cap.
Hayden helps you free up some space. I'm pretty sure Hilton's a free agent, though. I needed to double-check that at some point. But Hayden does help you free some cap space. I'm pretty sure Hilton's a free agent, which at that point you're in a little bit of a tricky spot in terms of okay, how do we make all of this work at the corner spot alone?
Yeah.
Now you're down two of your best corners. I assume he means Mike Hilton here. So it gets a little bit tricky, and you might want to spend some of that money on a corner. I'm open to the idea of moving on from Joe Hayden. At this stage in his career, he's a little bit expensive. I do wonder if that's really what the Steelers are going to try to do. If you really want to save space, it's finding a way to get Big Ben to retire, by the way.
Roger Dunlap has the Seahawks question. Will the Seahawks extend Jamal Adams this offseason?
It's an interesting proposition. Look, when the Seahawks traded for Jamal Adams, it was not a 2-year rental. That was not their game plan of this past year and, of course, the upcoming 2021 season. He has a $9.86 million cap hit for 2021. And if you are worried about signing everyone in the cap space, what actually makes the most sense for Seattle is to extend Jamal Adams and structure his deal in such a way that it actually saves you money this upcoming season. That's very doable. The question for Seattle here is, okay, how much does he actually want? Is he going to just take the highest paid safety contract? If so, I'd probably do that sooner rather than later. If he wants bigger money, well, now you're into a whole different conversation.
See, the problem is this is the issue you run into when you trade 2 first-round picks. You have no choice but to pay him, basically. Because if you don't, then it's like, what are you doing? Because you've set yourself back in a major, major way. So it'll be very interesting to see what type of deal he ends up getting. Let us know what you guys think. How much would you pay for Jamal Adams per season? 15? 16?
15, 16 would be ideal. I just worry he's going to try to completely blow up that contract market and be like, I'm more than a safety. I had 9.5 sacks. You know how much 9.5 sacks gets you on the open market? 17, 18 per year.
Jamal Adams is a great linebacker.
He might ask for the Trey Flowers contract.
He's a great linebacker. There's no doubt. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Dwayne Jackson, we'll go quick here. In an upcoming draft, will Dallas draft a scheme fit because of the new DC Dan Quinn, or will they draft the best player available? And if Caleb Farley is at 10, should the Cowboys pass on him? Well,
from the Cowboys' perspective, the best player available is going to be one who fits their scheme, I think. If Farley's there at 10, I'm taking him. Unless he's not in shape for whatever reason, I'm taking him at 10. I think he's a good fit and a good player.
What about Tommy Togiai from Ohio State, Tom? Appreciate the super
Not
Bucky.
in the second, and I'm not convinced he should be a third-rounder either. I think some defensive tackles are going to get pushed up by it not being a great class at the position. I just think if you take Togiai, you kind of got a third version of Neville Gallimore and Tristan Hill, and you need more than just another potential rotation piece.
Cody Douglas back up here. Appreciate the super. I don't want this to happen, but do you think Miami could get 2 firsts for Xavien Howard if he becomes a problem and demands a new contract?
Depends on where the firsts are, but I think a team would at least consider it. I think you get at least 1 first for him.
I mean, if Jamal Adams can get you 2 firsts, a lockdown corner can as well.
I don't think Howard's going to demand a new contract. I'd be actually pretty surprised by that. And maybe he wants a slight pay raise to be the number 1 corner on his team. But he just signed his deal.
Yeah.
And he got a record-setting deal time. It's not like he took a discount.
You can't just
he can wait.
You can't just be the I became the highest paid, and 2 years later I'm not, because guess what? Those guys became free agents. That's how it works.
Exactly.
You can't constantly be the highest paid.
Exactly.
It just doesn't work that way. Last one here. If you have more questions, we'll answer them in our next mailbag. Who has the best chance to get Deshaun Watson?
Should be Jets or Dolphins, right? Like, I mean, I'd love to see him in San Francisco if that's the route they go, and maybe if the Texans like we're not going to trade him AFC, the Niners jump to that list.
I think the Dolphins have the best chance because they can offer the most. The
Yeah.
question is, will they?
Jets are close too, but I think having Tua helps out Miami significantly.
I think Tua over Darnold in terms of sending a
Absolutely.
quarterback back makes more sense.